What?
Yes.
Maps?
Who would have thought?
Are those important?
So let's see which maps have been banned out and which ones we will be going for. As, of course, we'll remind you, FaZe Clan versus Black Dragons, one of the best matches you could have in Latin America. Start off with the bans and give them to me. There you go. Cafe, Skyscraper, Coastline, out of play. Bank, out of play. Same for Clubhouse and Border.
Rip and Peps.
Chalet, definitely a map that we can see both teams actually playing very well on. Consulate has been a pretty good map for Black Dragons, and Oregon as well.
So you're thinking FaZe going to pick Oregon, Black Dragons going to pick Consulate, and Chalet going to be a decider. So it's the opposite of the assumptions there, I guess.
It's not surprising that Black Dragons would go for Oregon.
Okay.
They've been very varied in terms of strategies that they have. Consulate is a pretty okay map as well for FaZe Clan. They're very equal on it as well. So decider for Chalet, I think, is a very fitting map, because then we get to see the real craziness happen. Because Chalet is a map that Latin America has been playing very differently compared to everybody else since literally day one. And it's always a ton of fun to see what new stuff that they have in mind, what new rushes that they might have in mind.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of rushes, we've seen a lot of people vaulting in through the B window successfully on Chalet as of late. You know, just, hey, B window, vault. Go ahead and walk on in.
Nonchalantly moving in.
Well, I mean, it was not necessarily nonchalantly. It's, I mean, you see a lot of the Ying-Lion combination there on that window, right? You throw down the smokes and Candelas. Candelas go deep into the site of Trophy. One Candela goes close, so anyone playing by the fireplace inside of Kitchen is disabled. The two smokes at very specific locations on the wall, denying the immediate stop of that vault from anyone playing over by Dining or in Kitchen. And then the Lion pops the EE1D to make everybody stand still. And then it's just a simple vault in, kill the player in the back of the site who is blinded from the Candelas, and you have trophy control. We've seen a lot of that recently.
Yep, and definitely Blackbeard's an operator that can be seen on that, though has been seen a lot less in this meta. We talked about Ella, that has been a rare pick, but teams started in the past couple of weeks. I was surprised that teams have been going for more and more Ella.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. She definitely lives up to the role that she was designed to go for, which is you don't fight her CQC. Just like you don't fight a Blackbeard at range when he has a shield on, you don't fight an Ella up close with the CZ.
And I think that's what, yeah, as you say, they were going for. And I think they've really hit the nail on the head there with Ella's current state of balance, as well as with Blackbeard's current state of balance. I mean, maybe DMR is a bit much, but
SR25 has definitely been like a norm right now.
Yeah, and I think overall, you know, as far as an operator with a face shield and an operator who has such a high-capacity magazine and disruptions go, I mean, they're pretty well balanced right now, and their roles are being fulfilled. I mean, we saw the same thing when Blackbeard got nerfed initially. He got his really heavy-handed nerf. He fell off really hard. People stopped playing him altogether. They were like,
Everybody said, oh, Blackbeard nerf, nobody's going to play him anymore.
Yeah, he's dead. He's a dead operator. That's what everyone said. And we're seeing him now start to get picked up quite a lot more because he is in a really good place and he's still very useful for his role. It just takes time sometimes for people to figure out what those roles are. It's the same thing with Castle, for example. We're seeing a lot of Castle play lately. Why is that? Well, he's necessary. In our current meta, in our current attacker environment, you need just an extra layer to slow things down. So Castle gets played a whole lot more. It's just kind of the state of the game and the mentality behind the players on the teams dictating their pick rates of operators like Castle, like Ella, like Blackbeard.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Blackbeard, of course.
And Mute.
Yes, Mute has been such a huge pick.
Yep.
You know, honestly, more and more people have been playing it. We've seen even in EU, he's higher pick than Bandit, which is, who would have thought? But
crazy.
Mute right now, with
how
the way that,
yeah,
crazy how nature do that, exactly. But it's always exciting to see how the fact that Lion is introduced means that Mute Jammers become even more important if you want to roam. So you want to play with a Vigil? Mute Jammer, at least in the initial positioning of the Vigil, would be very good to have. So that's where you put your fourth one. You can, of course, jam 2 walls, and not all teams have been bringing a Thatcher nowadays because they've been bringing double hard destruction. So kind of plays very well into the game plan of the defense, which is slow the attackers, force them to make mistakes to move in on the side before.
Right. Let's take a look at the community vote, see who you guys thought were going to be the victors of this match. As I know that, of course, wow.
That's pretty close.
Down the middle.
I honestly, I would be very close to saying that is the exact way I would build through this match. Honestly, people
Yeah.
voting on this, they've been mimicking my mindset a few times.
It does seem to fit the bill really of the match. I'm not surprised at all by that. I figured it would be a little bit more slanted in FaZe's favor just because name FaZe, but oh boy, yeah, that's amazingly clear.
Yeah, and to remind you, of course, since this poll is run publicly on social media, then maybe you would like to vote on it for every single game that we have. The votes go live before the matches. You can go on Twitter to vote on here and on our 4 MVPs, or the 4 players that we design or we push through as one.
Yes, we designed the players.
We designed the players. I designed
ground up.
I designed the perfect killing machine, Julio. But
he's the reason that Julio plays Blitz. He ticked the box, Blitz player. It's his fault.
But blame it on me. But remember, if you want to go and vote on these MVP picks and of course on the matches before they happen, then go to Twitter at ESL Rainbow 6, on Facebook as well. The live broadcast goes down as well on there. So, between YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, I think we're pretty covered on the amount of Pro League that you may watch, even in the other languages, because we'll remind you, Pro League is broadcast in most of the time at least 2 to 4 languages, which is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
This is an international game.
Yes, it is.
It's definitely shown. 6th invitation, well, the fact that we had 4 on-site broadcast teams, and the fact that we also had off-site broadcasts in other regions of the world. We'll mention like Korea, Japan, amongst others. We had at least 7 to 8 different broadcast teams that were going through every single language. It's very exciting to see.
On that note, can we take a second to talk about Fnatic on Mindfreak?
Yes.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yes, just for a tiny bit.
Holy wow. Fnatic coming into the scene, joining us from Australia, picking up Mindfreak, or ex-Mindfreak, I should say.
Mhm.
How exciting. And just goes to show, as you were talking about just now, the international stake of Rainbow Six.
Yep, the fact that one of the biggest esports orgs, and of course one of the top esports orgs in Europe, would go as far as, let's pick up arguably the best APAC team.
And APAC as a region, I know we're casting Latin America right now, but take a second, put a pin in that. APAC as a region has really been coming into its own as of late. I mean, I think at the APAC finals, there was actually a lot of interesting play, and it reflected a lot the other regions. And this is what we usually see happen. I mean, at the beginning of the game, way back in the start, North America, oh boy, I was there. I could tell you, we did not have any strategy at all. It was just headless chicken all the time. That's what we were doing.
You know what this reminds me of, Michael? Just
What's that?
A bit of a tangent. Season 4, so year 2, season 1, when North America was knocked out at the quarterfinals, and I love how the NA pros all sat down in the same bus and they called it the NA loser bus, and they all started singing as they're going home because, hey, we got all knocked out.
I think they
early
also had
stages.
they also had their own personal after party for that LAN event. A lot of the NA pros weren't at the official after party because they did their own after party.
Let's just say if you lived in Katowice that night and you worked at a McDonald's, it was a bit of a rough night.
There's only the one.
That
Only one
knows about it.
McDonald's that is open 24 hours in this city. Only one food establishment besides kebab places that is open 24 hours in this city. Anyway,
Welcome to Europe.
well, no, I mean, it's just Katowice, man. It's just this one. Anyway, what we were talking. Year 1, Season 1, Headless Chicken, North America. We play against Europe, and we bring back that strategy mentality, and that's where it starts, man. That's where the seed is planted, where it grows, and then it just becomes its own meta over time. That's what's happening with APAC, and it's happened for a long time now. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, APAC's has been given enough time. They should have come into their own at this point. They should be fully developed and fully fledged as a region." But it's more complicated than that, because where North America and Europe can scrim together, it's the same story with Latin America. But the thing is, Latin America has much more internal scrims, much more internal development, and that's why we see such a really defined Latin American meta.
One thing we'd like to remind you as well is that APAC is not a whole region technically. Yeah, sure, at the end of the season.
Scattered.
It's scattered. You know, we have Korea, Japan, Southeast
Complicates
Asia,
things
and
further.
yes, and we have Australia, New Zealand, which makes it a lot more complicated because imagine you want to scrim a team in Japan as an Australian, that's 120 ping. But enough talking, let's get into game. It's finally time for the Demolition Derby, and it's Black Dragons versus FaZe Clan as we head into map number 1, Consulate.
I hope they all have insurance. Now, as you can see, just to start us off, we are going to be seeing, shocker, a Blackbeard, Ying, Lion, Blitz. But the real surprise there, not any of those 4, but the Twitch. That actually is an operator that we're not seeing a whole lot of. Now, we talked earlier about not seeing much Thatcher, which is kind of surprising because what is this meta right now if not an electronic trap-based meta for the defenders? So not seeing Thatcher, you're seeing more IQ typically, and then neither of them coming out when attacking a basement. Now, of course, they cannot know that they're attacking basement, but now, no hard destructors, no direct anti-electronics except for Twitch. It's about the worst situation here for FaZe Clan as is possible on a Consulate first round attack. So good choice there for Black Dragons going to the basement first.
So FaZe Clan definitely were expecting to attack the top
yeah.
stairs, not downstairs. So this is Black Dragons, of course, throwing things out, and are like, you know what, let's play something different. But
we were talking up the Latin American region just earlier about having 2 hard destructors almost every single round. And then look at this. No hard destructors.
We saw this before where the attackers realize, oh crap, we have to, go all the way down and we don't really have any hard destruction. Well, let's just push from server. Definitely a possible thing here.
I mean, it's very probable. I think you're really on point there with that call, because it's very likely that FaZe is going to come from that locker hallway. There's little to no chance that they can attack anywhere else.
Hey, let's all rush into the
Let's go yellow stairs?
Yeah.
Everybody quick, 1 by 1, rush down yellow stairs. We'll refrag each other.
Especially in a region where it's so important to drone in before you're pushing. This is something that everybody in Latin America really does very, very well. Compliment on their drone game. But of course, bringing a mute here, Black Dragons, FaZe can just sit down one new jammer, and that's the entirety of yellow stairs that is basically jammed.
Yeah, and on the note of jammed, you can see that FaZe are getting a little jammed up on that top floor. Now, they are very efficient typically when it comes to their roam clear, but they've still got Psycho, who is playing over in the closet, but he gets spotted by Gohan. The vigil ability was not being used at that time, and as such, you are going to see Psycho fall back to piano, which will be confirmed by the use of EE1D and clear from Astro using that face check. Good job there to FaZe. They now have that top floor control and still plenty of time left in this round, but they've got 2 contests now to mirror window and bathroom.
This is the tier system that we talked about, where not even 1 floor above, you're going all the way up top, and Consulate is very similar to Bank in that way. You see the setup that they have in bathroom. Wog will even pop his smoke, and they're going to try to shut down the attackers that pushing through the main hallway.
Slowly going on that push. Psycho in the perfect position, sees the attacker, but misses the shot. Cameraman only taking a single bullet in that engagement.
Psycho still on the side of PZD, will get a frag here. He'll take down the Blitz, which is a huge pick. And Gohan at least gets one of them, but Astro eliminated by Wog. And you know what? Wog says, I don't have to fight this. I will drop down because the hatch is already open. And now you still have Kamikaze with a single impact nade that he can play with. You still have Wog that has his gas canisters, and Julia has a C4 to play with. FaZe Clan definitely on the back foot here.
You can see Moringa going to lose one of his shields, but also down Wog over by the white van, and this is good for him overall. He doesn't have any shields left, though. He's lost his second one, and because of that, the headshot will connect for Kamikaze. Here comes the push, though, from the rest of FaZe. Cameraman establishing himself at the front of white van, and Gohan elsewhere will be down, leaving Cameraman in a 1-on-2. 2 down players right now. One will be confirmed. And a second for Cameraman. It's a 1-on-1, but only 3 seconds. Cameraman, the clutch! Kamikaze goes down in the locker hallway. The perfect timing from the Lion player of Camera. FaZe take round number 1.
I am at a loss for words. You know what? I don't think we hyped this game enough, Michael, because...
No, we did not.
No, we did not, because this is round 1. It's basement defense that blindsided Black Dragons. Well, that blindsided FaZe Clan in that first round. They have no hard destruction. They push from the back. They come in. They're on the back foot. Somehow, The Blackbeard's able to get the pick on the smoke, and then the final finisher with the Lion. What?
And that's the thing. FaZe Clan were on the back foot, as you say, that entire round. Everything was against them. The operator selection, the bomb site selection. In general, the roam clear. I mean, it went about as well as it could for Black Dragons. The 3 versus 3 with only 40 seconds on the side. Are you kidding me? No garage wall opened up at all. That was perfect for BD. And they still lost.
I don't know.
Kamikaze's got to be kicking himself for that one.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Cameraman, what is that timing?
Well,
Looks like we might have a remake.
maybe so. We're waiting on our admin decision as usual. As here, of course, we've got a band of a very normal setup. Even Mav will be going for the Legion instead of the Mute that we saw in the previous round. So there we go.
Double team kill comes out from Gohan. Oh no! And he's gonna kill him. You didn't see it, but he
It's a
killed
good thing
himself
you
with the C4. No, but it doesn't count. So round number 1 phase.
Yeah.
Round number 2, pause, it seems.
Yeah, well, you know, we go very hard and then, oh, let's calm down for a bit. We'll remind you
Venting the engines.
within rule set, you cannot go back and change your operator or site selection. You can change the way that you have things set up, but you cannot change the operator selection or the bomb site selection. So that's something to keep in mind. We were on Garage. It was already spotted by the drones just at the beginning. So, you know, we're expecting a Legion. We're expecting a Bandit as well. There's nothing out of the ordinary. Of course, the Vigil coming out to help out with, you know, shutting down anybody pushing piano.
We can also expect a legion of dedicated Rainbow Six fans watching this match, as it is so very exciting.
Very much so. No matter where they are watching from, because here, this is very much Latin America's game, and they are watching, of course, very heavily the Brazilian cast. We'll remind you, of course, that this is broadcast in both English and in Portuguese for, hey, anybody that wants to check out our coworkers as well.
Are you bilingual? Do you speak Portuguese and English? Well, surprise, surprise, you can get access to both of these languages on this Latin American stream.
Not just that, for free.
For free.
That's
Free
something.
content. Is it free real estate?
Free real estate.
It's free real estate.
It's super. Honestly, with the start of that first round, if you're not calling your grandma right now and telling her, look, Mima, I know
It's
I
free.
haven't seen you in a while. Hello, but can you please just turn on the stream and watch it? Because this is a game. I know you don't play video games.
It's a good, no, but in all seriousness, this is going to be an amazing match. And I think the first round is really telling of the amazingness of this match right off the bat.
Definitely going to be back and forth between both of the teams here, because even with no hard destruction, and you mentioned it, this is a region that loves playing Habana and Thermite at the same time, and they still don't get that at all, because they were expecting a push upstairs, and they still make it happen.
This match is going to be like, and ready for this, I'm going to make this up right off the top of my head, 2 people playing baseball, but they're both batters, and they have the ball, and they're just hitting it between each other. They're both hitting it continuously, and they string it together for like 200 hits, and it just keeps going and going and going. That's what this match is going to be like.
I would actually love to
That would be
see
really cool.
something like that.
That'd be cool to watch, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is.
Was it, even though as, you know, an illiterate baseball person as myself, Parker sometimes shows me some highlights from Blue Jays, because of course Toronto.
Go A's.
He has to root for them. And so, you know, we'll see that, you know, infamous, I believe, 3rd inning that they had, where it was, you know, pack it up, you're never going to have a game like that ever again. Yeah, that's basically it here.
Yeah, this is going to be an amazing match. Now, as soon as we can get all the players into the match,
Yes,
we can actually
that
like,
would
get
be
it started.
much better.
Yeah, could you imagine we would be on round 2 right now? I mean, we are on round 2, and we're just waiting. I think we're getting dangerously close to getting back into this match, guys.
Yeah. This is, because you saw that first, the thing is, I think this is tactical, because after the end of that first round, we're like, okay, people might need a change of pants. They might need to actually, you know, calm down for a minute, go walk the dog for a second,
Yeah.
and then come back like, okay, now we can get ready for an actual second round.
Yeah, if I were Black Dragons in that situation, I would be like, whoa, hold on.
Yes.
Cameraman, first of all, you're insane. Second of all, what? Third of all, hang on a second. That's probably something along those lines. I'm going to just go ahead and hope that it was technical difficulties, though, because that seems less malicious.
Yep, so we are waiting on any information from our admins, of course. have Luca on stage, who's going to be sending us information as soon as possible, and we'll be able to let you know what happens. I'll remind you again that I believe the first wave of tickets is already out. I don't know how many waves they will have, but first 500 tickets are out for Atlantic City.
Yeah.
If you live anywhere in North America and you have
especially East Coast.
Yeah, especially East Coast. This is your chance now. If you didn't get to go to Montreal and you want to go to a Pro League final, not just 6 Invitational, meet all the players.
Meet lovely Gaston in person. You can shake his hand. See this hand right here? You can shake it, not for free, but you can do it if you go to the Atlantic City finals.
Yeah.
All you got to do is buy a ticket.
All it takes is a ticket and a hug at the end of it, and that's
this hand too. You can shake my hand. We can see this action we are committing right here.
I'm literally in debt for like $200.
Sign stuff. There's a lot of action to be had at the Atlantic City finals.
You get to meet everybody. You get to meet,
I hear the hotel's nice.
Oh yeah, it's actually hosted at hotel. It's a Caesars hotel actually that is it's part of the Caesars
Never
branch.
Been, but I hear it's nice.
I hear it's sounds like a 50-year-old.
I can't help it.
Do you know what, Charlene? I haven't been there, but I hear it's nice.
But I do hear it's nice though.
Yeah.
So
Atlantic City,
look forward to that.
The Pearl of the East.
They have a really big parking garage. Did you guys see the parking garage in the pictures? So like, if you bring a car, if you drive in, you're covered.
You know what? Okay, so I've only been to North America twice. That was twice to Montreal, and the first time I went into a Costco.
Have you never been to the US of A? Guys.
You know what? I got my visa approved today.
Guys.
And I've never had mac and cheese because I'm reserving it for the US.
We're going to get you some good burgers. He's going to get Guys, I got it.
I lost 15 kilos in 3 months.
He's going to get ribs. He's going to get ribs, baby back. He's going to get burgers. He is going to get so much soda. I am going to give him the best apple pie on the planet. We're going to get him fed. Don't worry. I got it covered. Papa Kick's got it covered.
There you go. God bless. God bless Papa Kicks.
Hey guys, guess what?
Yes.
We get to play the game.
Finally.
Let's do it. Loading back into Consulate. Round number 2. Round number 1 going in favor of FaZe.
I hope your mac and cheese is ready because we're going to hop into this.
I forget mac and cheese. Oh, am I really an American? Okay, Consulate.
Let's go. Hit it. There you go. So, round 1, of course, going the way of, and I'm scared to say this, FaZe Clan. How? How did they even win that first round?
I do not know. No explanation from me here. Cameraman's a nut. I think that's all we really need to know. FaZe Clan really narrowly edging through that first round. If you missed it, FaZe had everything going against them. They had the operator selection. They no hard destructors while attacking the basement. They did a pretty all-right job of clearing out those roamers, but I would argue for a good roam from Black Dragons. And then, inexplicably, in the last 4 seconds of the round, Cameraman clutched it in a 1 versus 3. I mean, technically it was 1 versus 2, but he finished it down person. But we're going to call it a 1 versus 3 because it sounds way better.
Yes, very much so. Here, Black Dragons are, of course, on the attack. Julie on the blitz. That's something you never see, right? But
no,
Psycho taking some damage early on there from a quick peek in Piano. Now, the fact that Black Dragons brought Buck PZD on the Buck means that they're going to 100% go for Piano. They're going to have support behind him. They will take down the bandit batteries from above. That's why they don't need a Thatcher or a Twitch. And then they can open up the garage wall with Wog, of course, playing Thermite, Psycho as well. They'll use Julio to push from the backside, force FaZe Clan into a spot where they have to fight outwards, and that is much more difficult to go through.
I would cite FaZe Clan as being one of those teams, though. I would say that they are the sort of guys, the group of teammates that would typically try to play aggro defense. And as I say that, Astro's going to get PZD, so that's the Buck gone. A lot of your soft destruction completely disabled here, and because of that, Black Dragon's going to struggle a lot more.
Moringa on the smoke is playing upstairs as well, or just roaming next to the Vigil. This is what we were talking about with these crazy strategies. Even a mirror window is set up outside. As you see, Wog will open up here, but they lost Julio, they lost PZD, and there was 0 damage done to FaZe Clan.
Yeah, and even a little bit of health off of the little bar there for Psycho. So next time he gets into an engagement, he's going to have to be sure that he's hiding behind some smoke like your typical Glaz, or he will likely have a bit of a struggle. Here comes said smoke. As it pops off, he's going to see one person through it, and that's going to be Moringa, who eats a couple shots, I think one to the torso, but not enough to really matter. E1D will detect Astro on that top floor, and you can see Psycho trying to capitalize on that. But he's pushing in now and shoots through the box, manages to get Mav without the smoke. What is Mav looking at? I don't know. Now he's contesting those pipes, but he's going to lose to Gohan, and Moringa will finish him off. Moringa, a triple for him in the round as he gets WAG, and it's all Kamikaze.
Kamikaze, of course, popping the last E1D that he had. He'll pop the Vigil, but unfortunately Astro is ready, and what was that defense? FaZe Clan, you know what? I think right now, they're definitely showing that this is their map.
I have to be honest, I completely agree with you. Let's also recap. This is FaZe's pick. They did want to go to Consulate. So it's, you know, it makes a lot of sense that they're going to be so dominant here in the first couple rounds. The main thing for me is that seemed like your typical standard win there of just, okay, we know what we're doing on the defense. The attack is struggling just a little bit. Despite Black Dragons executing seemingly in a smart way, the one thing that they neglected to do was clear from the top to bottom. Because they didn't clear from the top to bottom, they had to deal with the roamers late. And FaZe, if you let them roam, say it with me now, you're gonna have a bad time. Thank you,
100%. There is no way that you can let FaZe Clan roam, especially when you have to deal with the Vigil upstairs, because not only that, who would have expected a smoke that is playing in the console chambers?
Well, we talked about it earlier. It is, excuse me, it is actually technically a very Latin American trait is to have your roaming smoke. And no, but it is a Latin American.
Look at this setup again. There is no hard destruction again.
Oh, I feel like at this point they're just doing it to like give us heart issues. That's what FaZe is doing right now. They're like, you know what? We know everyone around the world is watching this match right now. And we just want to make them think real hard about why we're not bringing a hard destructor when we know they're going to be defending the basement.
We're like, nah, we already practiced it. We know what's happening here.
Or it could be that, yeah.
It's like, hey, let's just confuse everybody. And we'll just try to go for a server push. We've been actually seeing that a lot more often nowadays, even in relegation matches that have been happening for Pro League. I'll note the Hat versus CLG match.
The seeding match.
Yep.
That was a really good match. I don't know if you guys watched it. Intero casted it with Fabian, actually, and it was a banger of a match.
Yep.
Definitely worth checking out. CLG versus Hat, again, on Intero stream.
Yep. So here, Astro just push in, he'll take control of the connector room. Cameraman still outside, doesn't want to risk. He will have the E1D being used as Astro tries to clear things up upstairs. There's nobody there. Mav, of course, is downstairs trying to catch off any roamers that are rotating from the console chambers. The problem is, FaZe now are scared of BD having too many players upstairs, but Black Dragons, they're just going to take control of the ground floor and then take control of downstairs. Nothing more than that. Though this is Mav now trying to push from the back of the place.
And this is a good push overall. He's got to be careful of exposing his legs as he goes into the hallway. Will lose a little bit of HP there on his hand. What I believe was PZD trying to contest that hallway. But he still persists. Tries to take control of this position. The ADS, oh, narrowly. Almost costing him his life. PZD going to walk away with the same amount of HP lost, though. An even exchange, that's for sure. Mav now going to rotate his way over to the piano room, where there are still some roamers afoot over in the bathroom. And here comes the Gohan push. Oh no! A misfault! And Gohan loses his life for no reason! Kamikaze catching that one and saying, "Thank you, sir. May I have some more?"
That was, he was not expecting the hatch to be open so early. He was expecting Amira to still be behind the window. Fortunately, wasn't the case. He dives in, gets killed, and now the second one, this cameraman, has not been able to use his last E1D charge. Mav now will get dropped and killed by the smoke, but Moringa will at least get one frag out of it. Astro low on HP. This is now going fully in the way of Black Dragons.
Yeah, as it seems, Black Dragons finally getting their fourth kill. Julio gets Moringa and Kamikaze aggressive up the yellow stairs. Astro is felled, and as you can see, Black Dragons will get their very first round. So that's great for them. They haven't completely lost control. And I honestly have to go ahead and point yet again a finger at, what do you think I'm going to point a finger at there? Gassan, the lineup, is it the lineup? Do you think the lineup from FaZe was the issue there? Because I think the lineup from FaZe was the issue there. I mean, they cleared so efficiently on the top floor, then they hit that middle floor roadblock, and the thing is they can avoid that. They can just turn around it and go over to the garage if they have that thermite, but they don't.
If they had it, of course. And the thing is, though, that's why you're bringing a Thatcher a lot of times when we're pushing this. That's why we mention the operator so many times, because you don't even need to contest piano if you just have a Thatcher, because all it takes is, hey, I'll just roll up with one of my googly boys, and here's your batteries, or here's whatever that's dead now right behind the garage. You don't have to deal with any of that. You'll set one player, probably the Lion. They'll just be watching the doorway for any rotations from the top stairs and all yellow stairs. The rest of the players can maybe push through the hatches, but at some point, it takes so much time that you probably can just rush in with a Ying and get a plant down.
And it's weird because we're in the electronic defense meta for the defense now. That's really what's going on here in Rainbow. You need it to counteract the attacker meta that we have right now. The yellow meta, as some have called it, of course, with that the Lion and the Blitz most notably. But you don't see him played as much. You more often see the IQ, or oftentimes even no anti-electronic operators, which is what Black Dragons is showing us right now. Not a single one.
The noticeable thing as well is that they are bringing Wog on the Dokkaebi, because they have realized, obviously the Dokkaebi Lion combo works very well, but they've seen FaZe Clan are very good at roaming. What's the thing that'll give us a lot of help at clearing roamers? We can just put in our bomb in there, and then we can hear all the phones ticking, and we know where to expect their opponents with the logic bomb.
I like this duo roam here from Mav and Camera down on the basement. It's going to be 2 C4 operators, one with the information being gathered by the Black Guys, not to be countered by the IQ since Black Dragons don't have one, and the other, similarly, not countered by the IQ. Cameraman with the heartbeat or cardiac sensor will be able to call out a lot for his team, both of them together with that information gathering. And more importantly, they're going to be able to deny the plant from below. If Black Dragons do not fully commit to that roam clear, they're going to have a bad time when they go for the actual push into the site.
Well, they're even taking control of the window here, and Skylight PZD, of course, going up there. This is a very common position for a buck. You can, even if the wall is reinforced into the console chamber, you can still, bucket from above. That's going to be, and that's exactly what it's going to do here. It is not reinforced in this case. This at least will help Julio pushing up, and of course the glass that is held up on the north windows.
And you can see that he's even clearing all the way over to the small wall inside of B, just to make sure there are no anchors in the site. He has now affirmed that for his team. He's double checking, but overall the information gathering is done, and now they will start that actual push. Moringa going to be the primary operator to stop that push from the yellow stairs and the B windows alike. He can easily be killed by a crossfire should PZD gain control over the bathroom. This grenade going to go out, and it will get Astro. Somewhat ironically, that's the Jaeger who will bite that nade and go down.
Very good frag here. Psycho will just throw in his 2 smokes to blind the rotation here. He won't spot the one defender that's sitting in the connector room. As a 1 kill exchange with the other. Kamikaze will get one more here, taking down Cameraman. It's a 4 versus 2. Kamikaze solo on HP, but Psycho even will get taken down here with the Vector, the 1v1. So little time remaining, but Mav will even hit the shot here with the MPX. They'll go in for the plant, but Julia will go down as the shield cannot help him from the back. And FaZe Clan somehow able to pull this out, even though everything was going the way of BD. 2 versus 4. You're playing an MPX and a Vector at range versus a V308 and an OTS-03, and you still lose.
The one thing that really throws me through a loop was planting by the turned over couch
when there's a mirror window facing.
When there's a mirror window facing you, and there's CEO desk is 3 feet. No, I'm sorry, that's exaggeration. That's it's like, it's a chunk away.
Like
it's
4.5 feet.
4.5, 5 feet. It's hard to, but it doesn't matter. It's
meters away.
Very close. to the couch. You just move over to that, behind the bomb, you're safe. You don't have to worry about anything. They cannot lob a C4 that far from the connector. They would have to vault through the connector wall to get to you. So why not? And it brings the decision making into question there for Black Dragons. But
maybe it's the nerves.
But maybe it is the nerves. It could be that.
They had little time to push it.
Very little time. But at the same time, you also have to take a step back, give credit to Mav for his amazing support play all the way back from reception. I mean, wow, what was that? Hitting those shots with the MPX, those were clean kills.
That is very, very, I don't know how to say, impressive play, to say the least. Because MPX is definitely not a weapon that you will use at distance, especially when you have, you know, the green dot on there. Well,
the reflex?
Reflex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. It's probably the least adept scope at long ranges.
Oh, yes.
Typically, you'll see the reflex brought on guns that have a lot of recoil, because it's really, I feel like it's a lot easier to manage them at close ranges with
Bucks
the reflex.
C8 comes up with that holographic.
Maybe. I mean, it's all technically it's all really preference.
Yeah.
That's just like some players' mentality is, oh yeah, you stick the reflex on the high recoil guns, you stick the holo on the low recoil guns, and then everywhere else use the ACOG. But
the interesting thing is that we have Mark 17 instead of the SR25 on the Black.
That is interesting.
It hasn't really been a thing for a while.
And it's gonna work for Moringa. Psycho goes down, playing on the B-bomb.
I'm not sure why the Vigil is playing so aggressively, not, you know, playing the cubby, which is what usually you'll see him play.
I feel like that's going to be the story of this match. The aggression.
Yeah, why the aggression? And, you know, at times it works, you know, it looks really cool when it does, but when it doesn't, you really have to question your motives.
So, interesting thing here, looks like we had some explosions used on the desk where you see now Kamikaze playing. He's also brought a shield. A piece of utility that in past seasons has not really been all that, well, it hasn't been considered useful, whether it's useful or not. And now you can see it in most recent seasons being very well utilized.
Love this here from Black Dragons that are just pushing up, realizing that the push can only happen from one point, but Astro coming from the side and get the frag on Julio's map will rush in. They've already gotten the information, and here the shield won't protect you, my friend. Kamikaze going down to Mav, rushing in with the blitz, and Astro will get the final frag here. It's just rushing through. They reinforced everything in a way to make sure that that connector room is the position where they can rotate all the players around. They were 100% sure that the push will come from the windows. Wasn't the case when they moved up with the Mira, when they moved up with the Dock, and when they sacrificed the Vigil early on, and then you just had the Twitch that was playing behind the shield and, you know, just popping heads.
And that, by the way, from FaZe was the execution that they have been waiting to show us for oh so long. The first 3 rounds of this match were basement defenses. And we finally saw 2 top floor defenses just now. And FaZe had that trick up their sleeves since the beginning. You could tell from their operator selection. And I think that was a stellar execution. I love the way that they utilized the blitz on the yellow stairs and followed it up so fervently. Now, Black Dragons, really in a bad spot, are going to have to attack onto FaZe Clan's defense of the basement. And here's the kicker. FaZe has yet to lose a basement of the defense. They were successful on their first attempt. And now this being their second, they got to be feeling good about their chances here. With only 3 minutes left for Black Dragons to deny this the match win for FaZe Clan outright. Now the thing is that 3 minutes and then another 3 minutes. They have to chain them.
Yep, that's exactly true. And the interesting thing about BD here is that they're only bringing 100 structure, and out of the 2, it's the Haban.
I would say arguably, inarguably the less ideal hard destructor on this site. There aren't many where you would say Thermite is superior to Habana, but this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, there's basically any push into garage, whether you're playing Chalet or you're playing on here, and Consulate, definitely a great spot to have Thermite. They opt for Wago and Habana, which might signal utilizing the hatches a lot more efficiently than, you know, focusing players on going through the main garage opening.
See the first EE1D very early in the round, going to pop FaZe has one of their roamers. In fact, 2 of the roamers. They've got a lot of roamers. Hey, Moringa, though, on the top floor, going to get started to actually get lit up, but from behind, Gohan is going to be able to get PZD. Julio will get Moringa, so good clear into CEO office. Psycho responds onto Mav, and Gohan, a triple kill for him as he pushes up to the top floor. Ignored throughout that entire engagement. Julio has been down, leaving Wag now in a 1-on-3, and he's going to go and try and retrieve his teammate. He's fairly confident that these defenders have fallen back to site since they have the man advantage. Obviously, they cannot know that Julio has been down, given that there are no point notifiers, and I think that was the C4 from Gohan that had the down. So it would have been a 4K if not for the sake of Julio. I believe it was probably just the shield that saved him.
How do you even deal with this? With 4 players roaming up top in the console chambers when you're defending Garage. And now this forces the Black Dragons to go on these server stairs. That is the only way to be able to push through. And you see FaZe already setting up for this defense. They'll open up things from the other side so they can play by the white van. And even then, even with the Legion being dead, he'll slow things down for Julio with 48 seconds on the clock. The push needs to happen from FaZe, but Julio being low on HP, they have to take their time, unfortunately. You see even aggressive positioning set up.
So many prompts here for FaZe, the Legion traps, the cameras, just the time and the obvious location of Black Dragons, and they will have all gun barrels pointed at the 2 choke points that Black Dragons will have at their fingertips. Now here comes that final moment here as time ticks away. And the smokes and flashes both start popping off. FaZe positioned well to hold this, but Camera's gonna get the first kill. Julio goes down, and the second kill for Gohan. That's 4 for him in the round. And Wag eliminated. Black Dragons lose map number 1. FaZe Clan push it on to Oregon swiftly.
This is... The least that you could say is this was 100% FaZe Clan's map.
Yeah, I mean, even though we had a rehost that lasted about
5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
Even though we had that rehost, that felt like a really brisk map. I mean, we cruised on through that. And I think FaZe had full control throughout that entire thing, that entire ordeal. The only round that they lost was the round that they continued to push their luck, not bringing a hard destructor on a basement defense. And it was because they had such a very, very powerful top floor attack in their pocket, and they were enthusiastic about using it. You could tell.
Yeah, and unfortunately, things don't really work out for Black Dragons in this one.
No.
I am honestly surprised with the way that they played, because here's the thing: you might rewatch this and be like, okay, well, let's take away the fact that they had no hard destruction when they're pushing Garage, or they picked the Habana when it's a Garage push, right? They still had really good chances at actually cleaning up roamers when they're attacking. Didn't really work out. Their 1v1 fights weren't being won. This is definitely not the Black Dragons that we're used to seeing, and this is FaZe Clan. When it's the final round, and you're like, you know what, let's just mess with them mentally to prepare for the next map, they'll play a 4-man roam in the Consulate chamber when they're defending Garage. What is that?
Yeah, and the thing is, we saw 4 defenses of the bottom floor. One of those, we saw a thermite pop out and attack onto the Consulate garage, which that did not see success. That was Black Dragon's attempt, and they could not make it work for them. So say what you will about the meta that both teams were employing when it comes to those basement attacks. It's been working for FaZe Clan at least, and it did actually work in terms of defense for Black Dragons. So it was an interesting Consulate. Very heavy emphasis on clearing those roamers.
This is definitely a Consulate meta, as you say, that we have really never seen.
Well, I don't want to go that far.
Not in this way in the entirety of the game.
I think would you mean to say that we haven't seen it as emphasized?
Exactly.
As heavily as we saw on that
Throughout
map?
the entire map, it went in these very odd places for every single other region.
Yeah, I think a lot of the, we've seen rounds play out like that before, but it's just, they went into it. They wanted to do the same thing every time, and they they felt the need, both teams, we're talking about both teams here, they felt the need to emphasize their own meta. And it was well defined in that match. So the few deviant rounds, or for example, Black Dragons trying to come in through the garage wall. And I mean, that did not work out for them. So there you go.
One of my favorite parts of that entire game was the Ying pushing up into bathroom, wanting to vault in, expecting the hatch to be closed, and then whoopsie daisy, vaults through into the hatch and gets shot from 4 different angles as he drops into garage behind white van. That is.
It reminds me of like when you're playing Mario or just any platformer, and there's the giant pit. And you're like, okay, this is an obvious giant pit, and all you need to do is just like thread the needle just a little bit. The platform's right next to it, so it's an easy jump, and you take your finger off the button at the perfect moment, and you fall down the pit. That's what that looked like.
Here's the thing. If you're watching right now and you're like making some highlight videos or some stuff from Pro League, you take that, you put the death audio from Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, and you put that,
Love that guy.
As the Ying rushes in, all the audio goes down, she dies, and then you can just hear the death audio at the end. Do it.
It's perfect.
Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that, we have our own music that we add to the top 5 plays, and we didn't have, top 5 fails, which would have been a very funny thing.
We should have that. You're a genius. He's a genius. We're gonna talk about that. Talks will be had. Gaston came up with it.
I think some people would not dislike it, but they would be a bit.
It's a joke. It's not gonna happen.
Honestly, I would love to see it. There's some people that get a bit angsty with saying seeing their fails of the week. Some of them.
We're all human.
Yeah, we're all human.
Don't forget it.
We make mistakes. Even professional players. We've even seen that. I was watching a few of the highlights where it's like, even pro players do it, where you see trying to smack the barbed wire,
and they miss like 5 times. It happens.
It happens with pro players even. You'll see grenades that try to lob in.
Hey
We'll remind you before.
Hey guys. We get map number 2. Oregon is going to be our map number 2. Chalet map number 3 if we get to it. But
let's go for that, please.
So exciting. Let's get into it, as you say.
Black Dragons versus FaZe Clan continues the epic saga. Just gets more and more intense as we ramp it up and go into Oregon here. As we just mentioned, Michael, this is Black Dragons pick.
Yeah, so Consulate, Brisk 5-1, because FaZe were the ones to pick that map. Now, I say that, and I really want Black Dragons to back me up here with a 5-1 of their own so we can get that map number 3. Chalet, a map we talked about both teams being comfortable on. Black Dragons, now is your moment to shine. They will be going on defense first into the basement. FaZe Clan on attack. They will bring a hard destructor this time. A little bit of applause for that one. Now, this is a map that we've talked about a little bit in the past of shifting towards a top 4 mentality where the defenders prefer to go upstairs. Here we see BD actually carrying forward the torch, I think, of the Latin American region and going downstairs. What is that shield?
Okay, so they'll have 2 ACOGs. Kamikaze will play downstairs. PZD is playing on the dock, but he'll be playing in meeting behind a shield. He's got a hatch open next to him, so he can drop back. But he also opened up an angle where he can, shoot into the lobby or even from anybody pushing him from the right-hand side entrance coming in from lobby into meeting hall. Honestly, this is a very odd setup from Black Dragons because there's no mute jammer, for example. There's the standard operators that FaZe Clan will pretty much always run. They also have gone, of course, playing the Asher, no Zofia this time to clean up any extra walls. But Math pushing in on the blitz, nothing out of the ordinary. We saw him in a previous map being pretty confident with those plays.
It's a very different, as you say, very different defense here. Black Dragons, typically what they would do is they would roam very heavily on the west side of the building. You can see Mav in a position with that. He's brought the blitz intentionally because he's aware that he will need to confront some roamers on the west side. But lo and behold, no roamers. Here's another shield.
2 shields, of course, from the Echo and from the...
Shields are the new meta, by the way. On defense, shields are the new meta.
I mean, if the attackers get shields.
The defenders may as well. I mean, they've had them forever, but
there you go.
But it's the barbed wire nerf coupled with the current meta we exist in, really just bringing out new things in Siege. And say what you will about our current meta, but it has forced the defense to innovate in many ways. bringing out, of course, much more Mute, and of course, the shields as well. It's very interesting. First EE1D, we're halfway through the round.
C4 has not been used for Julia just yet. Of course, they want to use out the gas canisters. Already one that has been expended by Wog, who's not roaming upstairs. As we said, this is, hey, let's try to pick those fights before they can even challenge the hatches. Yeah, that's the angle.
Opportunity lost there from PZD. The shield was looking the wrong way, I believe, and that could have been a kill, but the shot was missed.
At least forced the Mira out of position, so C4s will be a bit more difficult to play with. Well, all the windows have been used up. Black Dragons just on the setup, waiting for push from FaZe Clan at 42 seconds. Kamikaze trying to hide his Yokai before he needs to use it.
There's no gas canisters left. There's still potentially a C4 in the hand of Julio, and the Yokai is still established. The utility from FaZe is being utilized, and they are going for that final push, looking to get the plant. They've got a good amount of time in terms of final pushes, and oh wow, look at that. Mav up the top of the stairs gets Psycho as he's attempting to rotate through Meeting Hall, and it's just not going to happen. Kamikaze still on that Meeting Hall angle, but all the while the diffuser has been planted. The Yokai drone has been eliminated, and oh, what? A triple for Mav! A double headshot on the ADS, and he actually gets a fourth as he downs that player, goes in for the melee, and gets the technical ace. No, he did not get all of the kills, but he downed one of those players. We are calling that an ace. What a round from Mav.
You know, mentioned it at the start of the round that, yeah, he's been very comfortable on the Blitz. Well, I'll tell you what, he's been very, very comfortable, especially in that round. Surprisingly, though, Black Dragons playing a completely different way of defending the downstairs. It doesn't work. And the problem is, remember, they have lost map 1 5-1, and this hurts their morale coming in. Not being able to take that first round on the defense, which is their map and their signature way of defending, still did not. FaZe Clan definitely have the mental game down.
They absolutely do. And we've referenced, excuse me, Julio as being one of those players who is so prominent for being a good blitz player, and here you can see Mav giving him a run for his money. I mean, really putting up or putting into question Julio's position as that top blitz player.
Mav and Julio used to play together.
Yeah.
They actually played together for around 3 years.
So they know each other very well.
They know how to counter one another. They play not really similar operators, not at least on the defense, but on attack, definitely a thing. They understand the mentality that you have to have when you're playing a blitz, when you're playing an operator that requires you to put everything on the line and contest the defenders. Set up here from the Falcons, already down in meeting. Julio will push in. Wog is set up on the window. And Julio destroying as well. They'll try to get some information. At least they'll open up the main window here looking into the bedrooms.
So, a heavy roam from FaZe. You can see Black Dragon starting to struggle a little bit with it.
So cameraman set up upstairs. Of course, they have opened up these murder holes through the floorboards, and they have opened up quite a few of them. There's no vault mirror window here, which is something that usually you would see as well on the wall here, looking into the bunks. In the case here, he said these set up outside of school, and he won't be pushing it anytime soon. He needs Psycho to drone in, give him some information, and even to push from white stairs.
So pushing onto white stairs. Ooh, PZD gonna get Gohan, who peeks aggressively up in the main stairway. That's very dangerous for him, and he will lose his life because of it. But yes, pushing main stairs as an attacking team when you haven't actually dealt with all of the roamers is a very difficult and tall task. That's for sure. E1Ds are gonna pop out, forcing the red light for FaZe Clan. All the while, you can see Black Dragons have chosen to rotate their push. They were coming from the white stairs, as we were talking about just prior, but now they're coming from the master bedroom. A good rotation, I'd say. They still have the Habana Excaros to open up that closet wall should they need it. And Mav is going to eat a couple bullets while he's playing over in tower, so he's getting lit up, but onto that low HP.
They open up the sidewall here, looking into the bunks. It wasn't reinforced, so they can just open up on south wall. And Kamikaze, the AR-33, get a kill on Astro. That's now Gohan, and Astro going down. Even the smoke out of play. The last canister was not detonated. Now Cameraman will try to push up. He tries to go for the 1v1. A PZD is ready for him. Mav from below, no C4 in hand. Unfortunately for him, he won't be able to contest this here. He'll just stay in the kitchen. Unfortunately, he'll be hunted down very soon by Black Dragons. Are all 5 players alive, and the Ash will land the last one. Nicely done there by Psycho. Black Dragons, they pick up the round here on the attack. And honestly, this was a very efficient cleanup on round 2.
Dare I say a perfect round from Black Dragons. They did not lose a single man, I believe.
Yeah. The interesting part is that there were no reinforcements that were set up by the bunks. So it was just a matter of the Ash opening the sidewall, which is surprising actually, because you would have never seen that. Usually you'll have a setup, you'll have a reinforced wall, you'll have maybe a mute jammer in that case, maybe a bandit battery in there. We've seen even positions where players will hold on to armory in the hallway by setting up a mirror window to look to the balcony and to any player that wants to push through that closet. In here, it was just not the case at all. Black Dragons had a very stock standard defense, but even removed the extra reinforcements on the sidewall that really affected their round.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting the way that FaZe held that. To me, the most standout thing was that they had 2 roamers that died very early on downstairs, the Jaeger and the Pulse, influencing the round not even a little bit. Of course, the ADS from the Jaeger is still going to help a little bit, but not enough to really say, oh yes, this individual helped in this round. And they were just cut off. They were torn apart. And then even the anchor at the top of White Stairs, I believe it was Smoke, destroyed by Kamikaze. And it was not only a good attack from Black Dragons. They rotated adeptly. They came off of the push from the White Stairs. They went over to Master because they knew that would be the smarter play. But also, all the while, they were getting kills. And FaZe were just losing members like flies. And that was the most dominant round. Of course, the second round Black Dragons has ever won in this matchup. The most dominant round I've seen from them so far.
The thing is, though, I don't understand why the Pulse peaked in there where...
I mean, there's a lot to not understand in that round.
Yes, that's for sure. So, glossing over our previous round, we go into round number 3, of course. FaZe Clan bringing their signature Twitch, but Astro, he's been very efficient on the Twitch. One of the last players, really, the last bastions of our GIGN operator here.
I mean, of course, you know, it's a team decision at times where you don't just get to pick who you want to play as an operator. So FaZe is factoring that Twitch into their strategy. But you're right, there aren't a lot of teams that play Twitch these days, which is just so very odd. It's not because of her nerf, before you say it, it's just because she's not in the meta.
It's a different way of playing, but here you push in, get the kill. Wog will get taken down, and no flashes will affect our close-up blitz here, Mav. But these roamers.
So far, Mav has been playing blitz on every attack round in this match, and he's technically only gotten 4 kills. But again, the down, we're calling it an ace, a technical ace.
We'll call it an ace.
And nobody on FaZe has gotten an attack kill because of that, other than Mav on his blitz, because of of course, the technical ace. So now he's in this round already showing up, getting WAG oh so early on. That's the smoke, which is one of the most important operators. I think we emphasize it every time he dies early, to get early on.
Psycho realizing that the entire team realizing that the push is coming in from tower. They'll have the blitz. Mav again pushing up very close to his opponents. It's even now pushed up. If he only knew the vigil was this close to him, well, now he does, and get flashed. That's Mav now taking the shot. Psycho will go down, but shot in the back here. Kamikaze will get one, but flurry of kills for FaZe Clan. The Famasa bearing 9 and the T95 will take down the entirety of the defense.
So I talked about how that last round was dominant in favor of Black Dragons, but they had to employ tactics and reasoning and smarts to get said dominance, and it was like watching a really perfect execution, and almost like the most beautiful dance of ballet, right? Where it's just everything seems to be going perfectly. The practice is in, and Black Dragons is doing just about as good as they can. FaZe just rushed in through the back there and got all the kills. So they took a stick and started whacking, and it worked. So different strategies being employed.
Definitely so.
But
smash your head against a brick wall. And
I mean, it's working,
yep.
right? You know, it's not dumb if it works. Now, of course, you might lose some brain cells if you're doing that, but that's not what FaZe were doing exactly. So we can. I don't think they're losing any. They're good. Okay. But
so far, so good.
So far, so good. But a lot of it to do with Mav. I mean, I talked about picking up a stick and whacking the enemy team with it. Well, that's what Mav is. He's the stick, and FaZe is just like, okay, yes, we're going in, and yes, this is working. It's working well. Let's keep doing it. And I think that's probably what's going to be the story, what is going to continue to be the story of this map. Give Mav Blitz, throw him at the enemy, and watch him tear them asunder. And then as soon as he died on that last round, such a good follow-up from the rest of his team.
Here's the scary thing. We used to say exactly that about Julio and Black Dragons. And somehow on the attack now,
Omen.
He is on the line. There is no blitz. And Black Dragons are just going to run with a bit of a standard lineup here. They'll have the one Heart Destructor. Well, they'll have two of them, actually. In this case, with Wog playing on the Thermite. And they might just go for a tower take.
Yeah, so a tower take is telling of what, Gasson? A
construction push, exactly.
Yep.
And obviously bringing the Thermite highlights that even more.
Yeah, so you've got that Thermite, you've got control over tower, and all you got to do is open up that construction wall and then push on in unison. Sure, you still only got two bottlenecks that are hard to deal with, especially if there's a mirror window facing you. But that's the strategy. That's what this team, Black Dragons, are shaping up to do.
The difference is they don't have a shield. They don't have a blitz to run in and mop up the defenders that are playing it. So C4 is going to be more difficult to deal with. Smokes as well, because you cannot just tell the blitz, hey, turn them on and then tell them, go hunt the smoke, go hunt the mirror.
That's kind of interesting. Black Dragon's able to use Psycho's Ash Charge to open up the construction wall, as it seems FaZe has neglected to reinforce it, which is going to be much in the favor of Black Dragons, because that will allow them to better utilize what utility they have. Now, also interesting, Moringa playing aggressively in Tarp, or construction entrance as some people call it. He doesn't get a single kill, though, because of the Candelas from Kamikaze off screen, blinding Moringa. An operator you would expect in that situation to get many, many kills at such close range, not allowing him to fight back. Great use of the utility there from Kamikaze. And Black Dragons, despite losing a lot of HP on Julio and Psycho, have established a good advantage.
Astra's still trying to play the long-range game here with the Kia Sorrento. That's what we're going to call it, the K1A.
The K1A.
At the other side of the hallway. Now we'll have resets, of course, from Black Dragons. Julio will be the second one to get reset. There's a decent chunk of time to play with when the entirety of the setup to go through tower and construction has already been done. So now they can sit back, put everybody back on at least 50% HP and try to push in. Moringa going down means that they won't have to worry about the smoke, and now that's a pulse out of play. This is the second C4. Well, one of the three C4s that's out of play.
And Astro will respond. Kamikaze goes down. Preemptive C4 here from Cameraman does not meet any victims. Mav still has his, though, so he can't deny that plant. PZD gonna get Astro off screen. And oh no, mid-air, Mav C4 eliminated. PZD gets yet another and another. And locking out the round, Black Dragons, successful attack from the construction tunnel. Almost like a hot knife through butter. FaZe Clan putting up very little fight.
They're like, oh, we have a minute. Yeah, we got time to reset two players, no problem. Can push in. They already had everything done, basically. So the reset was a pretty simple thing to say because, yeah, we're going to push in with 35 seconds on the clock. That's more than enough to go through. The C4s didn't hit. Unfortunately, they lost the smoke early, and that's the one thing that defense could not have afforded to lose because that's how you delay them when they don't have a blitz.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes down to the smart play yet again from Black Dragon. So I talked about this a little bit earlier, but one thing that despite the scoreline and how it may seem, You know, it, of course, being only 3 rounds total in this match so far, 1 from Black Dragons, and whereas FaZe have won 7. Black Dragons is playing undeniably smart. And I would even say it's smarter than FaZe in many instances. In that round, they got an early advantage. What did they do to it? Did they squander it by just forcing the momentum and trying to push? No. They took their 2 very lit operators and they went outside to reset them because they knew they had time. The calculation that is going into Black Dragon's play is so easy to read. It's like they're wearing it on the face of their team, and I appreciate that on many levels. And I think that their strategy was well executed, well oiled. They droned out everything before they pushed in. They were sure about their vectors. They knew what they were getting themselves into, and they won the fights that were necessary. And that's really the story of Black Dragons. Smart plays, winning the fights that are necessary. Whereas on FaZe, you have just the sheer fragging power and synergy that is allowing them to step above the competition.
Oh, Wag, late setups here with his shotgun. Just help things out for a mirror window. That sort of mirror window is not usually used on the right-hand side. It's usually the left-hand side, because then you can just throw out a C4 from it, and you also have the beds to protect you from the other side, even though you can wallbang through them, but still.
You also have a better line of sight.
Yes.
If you put it on the left.
So you can see anybody planting right in front of the window, for example.
But either way, you know, I mean, it's really up to preference at some point, you know, and of course, Black Dragons, we just talked about how deliberate and thoughtful they are in their play, and I think they've got a reason. They've got a reason, that's for sure. Now you can see FaZe meeting the dilemma that Black Dragons met the last time Black Dragons had to attack onto the top 4 defense from FaZe, coming from white stairs and kind of hitting a wall. And that wall, of course, is the Toxic Babes from WAG.
We'll see Mav yet again on the blitz, moving up here. Of course, the smoke at a minute 27, and that's pretty much why you're going to rush in the blitz. He takes no damage in that, as the angle of the smoke was a bit off in white stairs. It's a pretty good start here for FaZe Clan, trying to force Black Dragons to use as much of their utility as possible.
Psycho looking for the angle from above. Not as many prep holes that you would typically see on this hole, but here comes the last gas canister and an EE1D with actually a whole minute.
Actually, I think now I understand why the setup was done this way by the defenders, because they want to contest that that entryway in white stairs, because they realize it's so important for FaZe Clan to take control of.
There it is.
Kamikaze's even forced back here, and he'll even try to go for a push. And he nails the headshot, but Astro's ready and will refrag immediately. Here's the second kill as well from the Twitch. We've seen the combo with Mav and Twitch behind him, or Astro. Workout on map 1, and it's working again here, but Psycho will get 1 as Astro lands the 3K here now. Julio and PZD alive. C4 from below. Will it hit? Yes, it will. And that's Astro finally eliminated. 2v2. The diffuser will get picked up. They still have a bit of time to play with, but Julio lands the headshot from below. Now Mav on the blitz. If there's anybody that you'd like to have on this clutch, it's definitely him. He goes in for it for the 1v1 of PZD. We'll just take him out with a quick kick of that buttstock on the 416. Give it half a second, Blitz would have won it there. Unfortunately, not the case. And most of the time in Siege, it's those small moments, those few milliseconds, that end up changing the entirety of the round.
A nice try, though, from FaZe. Overall, Kamikaze with that early anchor, and Julio, what was going on with him? Really popping off downstairs. Great job using his C4. It was a blind C4 too. That was not an information gathered C4. That was not an informed C4. That was a, oh, he'll probably be here C4, and it worked out. A Hail Mary, to be sure, but it managed to net them that win. If FaZe had one more player left alive, it would have been an easy lockout of the round. One person covers while the other person plants, and then you have a 2 versus 2. And it would have been a, nice easy post plant. But that's not what happened, because Julio is doing so very well. Now, FaZe Clan, for the very first time, have lost the advantage. 3-2 in favor of Black Dragons. And they are starting to rack up some rounds on their map pick. It's been a bit of a struggle, and it's worth noting, more of a struggle than Consulate was for FaZe on FaZe's map pick. but they're making it work. They being, of course, Black Dragons.
Well, we see Mav back at it again here with the Valkyrie. We'll still have Astro. Honestly, we haven't seen, the only thing I want to say that we haven't seen so far is putting a lot of emphasis on the bathroom and the kitchen for the defense, because that's something EU has been playing with quite a bit.
I mean, we've seen it a little bit, but usually from these guys, when we're seeing it, it's a fall-off game, right? It's okay. We're gonna defend bathroom and cafeteria,
And they'll have, you know, like 3 C4s downstairs to
Yeah.
try and play it.
and they'll fall back to things like this mirror window that you can see Astro playing on inside of meeting hall, or they'll just keep the they'll keep the roll going backwards, so they'll not lose any of their manpower inside of bathroom, or sorry, not bathroom. Well, actually, yeah, bathroom or kitchen. Either way, it doesn't matter. They don't want to lose manpower out in the Great Abyss. They want to be able to retain it, bring it back to the site, and utilize it in the final push, which has been, I think, a trademark of both of these teams, the final push, really. And when I say final push, I mean like the 30 seconds of the round, not very much time left, and here comes the onslaught. That's been what both teams are doing.
And interesting thing, we highlight Julio as being one of those very well-known Blitz players. He's so much of a Blitz player that he has a shield on his shield as a charm.
Oh, yeah, I only just saw it. So
So
I was like, where is he going with this? Oh, shield charm.
Yeah, so there you go. It tells you here, he comes in, he's knocking out those Valkyrie cams just so the defenders can really play off the information and play with the roamers. Of course, Astro and Mav playing up top. They can rotate down if need be and force Black Dragons. And contesting them is definitely wastes a lot of time.
Yeah, also that shield charm. I might be wrong about this.
If there's a lineup that is signature Black Dragons, it's exactly what we have there. They're Ying, the Blitz, the Havana, the Sledge, and the Lion.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, so much disruption on the Black Dragons lineup right now. You also have the grenades. Psycho going to use his first. It's going to do a little bit of damage, and I say a little bit, I mean 5 HP off of Gohan. So not very useful there from Psycho, but a nice attempt. Here comes the late flank, though, from FaZe. Attic has been opened up almost in its entirety, not in all the way, though. Barbed wire instead of the impact grenades from Astro means they're going to hit a wall. C4 will get Psycho. Well tossed from Mav upstairs, but still no rotation potential. And because of that, Astro stuck will get eliminated by Wag, but Wag refragged by Mav, and it's a back and forth here as Black Dragons go for the push. Candela's popping off, Smokes to cover. PZD in the hallway, blinded by his teammates, but he still gets Gohan. The cover from above, Mav gets PZD, Kamikaze cameraman, and it's a 2 versus 2, but post-plant. Moringa unable to use those gas canisters usefully, and Mav having an amazing round, really doing a great job upstairs. Mav yet another kill. Kamikaze goes down, and there's only one attacker left. But Mav, was that an ace? I believe that was. Either way, a 4K, an ace. Who cares? What a round from Mav.
This is
Such
insane.
an amazing one. I mean, he got the C4 kill. He got the follow-up. He got so many.
Mav, whether he's playing a Blitz on attack or he's playing on the defense with the Valk, definitely impressive. What do you do here if you're Black Dragons? Everything falls into place, and then Mav shows up. What do? This reminds me of when we used to mention Nesk back in the day. When we had plays like this, we would always mention Nesk.
Yeah.
He's giving him a run for his money.
Oh, absolutely. Mav is a tremendous player. I mean, we hyped him up before we even got into the match, and you can see he's...
For very good reason.
Well, thank you, Mav, for proving us all right. But really, what a match from him so far.
Well, Psycho just setting up here on the Vigil. We'll see Astro again on the signature Twitch yet again for FaZe Clan. The scores is tied. It's 3-3. I'll remind you that this is Black Dragons' pick, as FaZe Clan went for their first map pick on Consulate, and they were able to win that out 5-1 in a very convincing fashion. But here, it's pretty much back and forth.
You know, that last round was really interesting for a number of reasons. I believe it was the ace from Mav, but even if it wasn't, I mean, it was, honestly, it was too fast to track. It was so quick from both teams. But anyway,
I'll remind you
that
a
lot of it.
Marcio is in an observer right now, so we can't ask for like quick flashes of the board, etc.
Yeah, unfortunately. But anyway, the roam, the late roam from FaZe was really the beauty of that whole round. Coming up from the bottom floor so assertively, and there was no lockdown of the tower rotation from Black Dragons. They just let it happen. They even knew that that attic was opened up, and they did not lock it down. What a great assertive play yet again from FaZe.
Well, Mav going in for the clear. There is one player set up in kitchen to counter him while getting a bit more aggressive here, just checking the stairs behind meeting. In the tower, there's nothing out of the ordinary, except for the fact that really Black Dragons are putting a lot of emphasis on meeting, and they bring PZD again on the dock to play behind the shield. Now, the one round that they brought it early on in round 1 did not work out at all for them. So we'll see what the refinements that they have for this defense.
I gotta say, I agree with the decision there from Psycho on Black Dragons to bring the impacts. Last round, we talked about how it really impacted FaZe's rotation inside of that attic, forcing their players to just, well, quite literally hit a wall and stop moving.
Unfortunately, you know, you don't want to stop moving most of the round unless the Lion uses an E1D. At that point, you could have impacted the wall, pulled back, gotten the kill on the Habana. It would have been even easier of a defense without having to rely on the clutch at the end. You see even the hatches being opened and preset with their goo mines. Unfortunately, Astro, even though he hits one, he's still able to get the kill on PZD in the back. As now the dock eliminated. Of course, the rest of the team of Black Dragons has fallen back. See, they're going to open up the entirety of the walls here just to have a better angle to chuck more C4s through. The smokes in Wog's hand. They're going to vault all over the shield here that's already preset. And Julio set it in the back. It's all up to Wog here. He's got 2 canisters at the 40-second mark. It's a pretty good spot to be.
Goes the second canister. Here comes the C4.
The impact will open up the wall from above, so now Psycho can rotate in. He waits until the right moment, checks in to School, and he'll get the kill. Nicely done, Black Dragons, but they already lost Julio down on the site. Flurry of kills as 3 go in for Black Dragons. There's 2 more alive here. Cameraman, last one in, as Wog will get a kill on Mav. And the round will go perfectly here for Black Dragons. A Psycho's roam upstairs was fantastic. Kamikaze being able to survive as well. The fact that he set like 3 goo mines in the hallway meant that the Blitz couldn't push them from the side, which means that they were safe to contest him if he wishes to push through into him.
And what is this? Black Dragons on map point, pushing FaZe to the limit.
So close.
Inches away from a map number 3 here, and if we do get to map number 3, it will be Chalet. Now, Black Dragons have been playing an amazing match so far, and on FaZe, I have to say, it's just been Mav. Most of these rounds that have been won, I mean, we saw that
Astro, sure.
Yeah, Astro as well. But let's take a second here and let's look at the round count for FaZe. What's that? 3 rounds? Okay, what are the first round? What happened? Well, Mav got a technical ace, not a full ace because he downed one of the players but did not secure the kill. So technical ace from Mav in round number 1. Then, in the most recent defense from FaZe that they managed to win, he did indeed get an ace on Valkyrie coming up from that roam. So that's 2 aces for the man himself. And what's the round count? It's 3 for FaZe. So only 1 round did his team actually put in that work to get the kills.
11 to 5 when you're
technically 12. You see that assist over there? That should be in the other column. I'd like to correct the scoreboard if I can. Oh, man.
Reminds me of the life of a Legion main where you'll have more assists than anything else. Assist. It's a ton of fun.
Your team's like, oh, dude, you're not contributing. You need to pick it up.
I have like 11 assists.
It's like, I am helping, all right. But yes, Black Dragons now. They are going into attack. And You can see that they've brought a Zofia, an operator that I think in the meta, but not as well utilized in this match in particular.
Yeah.
Not seeing a whole lot of play from her.
Seeing more Ashe, that's for sure today.
Yeah, and we also see Wag on that Zokabi. Of course, a very useful operator. It's a rush. Here comes the C4 to counter it. PZD goes down. Astro gets Psycho. Kamikaze will refrag. Moringa gets down. And as you can see, the diffuser has been put on the floor. Astro will also get Kamikaze. Julio has been down. It's all Wag as he pushes up white stairs. He gets Astro. A 1 versus 3, though. He's got to pick up his teammate potentially. Gonna use his utility as best he can. He goes for the push. He's gonna get sprayed upon from the mirror window that is still established. Knows there's a roamer that's coming back to site. But no, Gohan will win that engagement as Wag steps into his own smokes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for overtime. It's 4-4. This is, you know, they say Mambo number 5. In this case, this is round number 9. Because, my God, if we thought this game is going to be close, this is definitely the way to go for it. And we still have the possibility to go to a map 3 on Chalet. It's a possibility. Black Dragons tried for a rush. Unfortunately, the Mira was on point with the C4 and the Jaeger getting the counter frag as well. That dropped 2 players on the floor and got the final, well, an extra kill for the Jaeger. That's 3 players out of play in a heartbeat.
It also seemed like a lot of that utility that was being placed to disable the mirror window and deny that side crossfire that is also typical from big hit storms was poorly placed. The smokes were not in a good position, allowing clear lines of sight for the Mira. And yes, that was a well-placed C4. And yes, the rush was maybe a little bit early. But when the smokes eventually did plume, and they did not cover what was necessary to allow Black Dragons an easy assault. And because of that, they lost so much manpower on the initial push. We didn't see any of the engagement, unfortunately, after they actually got into the site. So I'm not sure what happened there, but I'm sure it was action-packed. And in the post situation, after the push, whittled down, we saw Wag being the last attacker left, coming from those white stairs, was not able to make much happen because, I mean, that's just really a disadvantageous situation. Plus, such a men count disparity, and for like 3 to 1, it's just not going to happen. I mean, it was 4 to 1 before Wag got the kill, but still. A little bit of a missed opportunity there from Black Dragons due to some poorly placed utility and some good reading from FaZe.
Very much so. But here we're in overtime, and luck of the draw means the Black Dragons will start off on the attack. Julio on the blitz. They'll have to attack downstairs, but of course they are worried about roamers upstairs, as we've seen that before. Even working to the side of Black Dragons, we saw the Vigil flanking on round number 7. They were on the defense.
So this is interesting. On that note, we have seen in the first 4 rounds, 4 attacker wins. And then in the 4 rounds that we just saw witness, the most recent ones, 4 defender wins. So it's been a complete shift here on Oregon. Now, luck of the draw could be up in the air, if we're being honest. We don't know how this overtime is going to play out. But if the trend continues, and we have it be defense, 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 and FaZe Clan got to be feeling happy about that one. However, there's still an even split. Exactly 4 attack wins, exactly 4 defense wins. So it could go either way.
We'll see how much time FaZe Clan are able to disrupt at the end here. Cameraman even going in for a late mirror window setup just to make sure that, okay, they're opening up this side of them, they're opening up main lobby. I will set up most of my equipment on that end as well.
We also have the Yokai drone well positioned inside of Classroom. No IQ on Black Dragon, so it will go unnoticed. Plenty of cameras as well being used from Mavs on FaZe Clan. They do have a very, very heavy anchor, and Astro Moringa very exposed, pushing up to the drop down, giving themselves away. The EE1D will force them to stand still, and then Kamikaze will get the kill into Moringa. I have no idea what to think about that. Confusing play, to say the least. But FaZe are still heavily anchored downstairs. They're going to start going for that late flank yet again. The smokes are popping off, the EE1D as well, and the push into the site.
Cameraman sitting up here with an aggressive C4 position, but the Vigil from Astro will get the frag on Wag. He eliminates the Habana. It's not the end of days, not your most important operator in this position, but the C4 will hit. That's a 2K for Cameraman. Psycho and Julia out of play. PZD and Kamikaze alive, and Kamikaze rushes in, utilizing his Candelas. 2 versus 2, Astro alive, but there's so little time on the clock. Cameraman gets one with the Mira. Now going in, PZD gets one. Still has to go through for the diffuser. There's only 1 second on the clock. Will go in. He cannot, unfortunately, get the diffuser down. And yet again, it comes down to that half second, where if it would have started the plant, maybe he could have had a chance, but no, the Vigil was ready at the end. Anyways, the drop, and the round goes the way of the defense. And as you said, maybe luck of the draw actually wins it out for FaZe.
I mean, we didn't really know until it happened, right?
Yeah.
And it happened. FaZe, what a round. Most notably, Cameraman. His positioning, impeccable. In front of that desk. He knew that there was very likely not going to be anyone peeking him from the drop down. Or either that or he just took a gamble. To be honest, it could be that, and he won. It paid out. Got that double C4 kill. After that, he stayed in his spot and managed to get a 3K in the round. Overall, great round from him. Cameraman shining through here. And I would say, finally, yeah. I would say he's been having a pretty decent match so far, but it was mostly on Consulate. Here on Oregon, that was his, he only had 2 kills before that round.
And definitely, the impact round, that's what matters.
Impact frags.
Yeah, that's definitely the impact frags there with the 3 kills that go through to the mirror. He's able to delay things so much by just playing in and around his reinforced walls.
You can see it's a bit of a battle of the Titans here. This is the match we were expecting, the back and forth. And the sad thing about it is we are now 2 minutes and 54 seconds away from potentially not seeing a map number 3.
Yep.
And you know what? I really want to see a map number 3. I say that a lot, and I'm going to say it again, because this is a great match.
Definitely, though. So there's been a lot of that innovative mindset that has been shown in this matchup, where teams will use strategies that have almost never been tested, or only very specific very region-specific setups that are set, or for the attack or for the defense. Especially on the defense here, with Black Dragons even opting for a dock early on, playing with a fully open wall into meeting, and they play that twice, and that's something you would never really see in other places.
The shield,
it's so unique.
Yeah, I mean, the shield placement's also really interesting. It's something you don't see a whole lot of. I want to know more about the inner workings of the thought process, rather, of that shield placement. I kind of get the idea, and it's clever. I just want to know what their exact thoughts on those shield placements are. Now, this is interesting. Astro, using his Twitch drone, opening up that mirror window in Attic very early on. That's going to give FaZe a good amount of leeway in this round, but they don't have to worry about a late roam inside of Attic. At least not as much, as they can now detect anyone in that spot quite easily using their eyeballs. Half moving up the top of White Stairs. And it's going to be the smoke of Wag on the other end to try and slow him down, but he's playing a very passive game this time. E1D pops off. We hit the 1 minute mark.
Smokes will come out here as Wag will throw in his gas canister, Psycho Spring, but Kamikaze will get the first kill on Gohan. And that's now 1 taken out, the second as well, that's the Blitz. Now no more Ying, no more Blitz. Astro finally gets a kill here, and that's finally cleaning up the lesion. Cameraman coming in with the line, taking a decent chunk of damage, but there's nobody on the site. There is a C4 to be played below for Julio, but he has to time it right, and he'll throw it right next to him, but no! Moves away at the last second. Cameraman would only get down at Astro. Get a frag here out of it, but Psycho's ready. He'll take down Moringa. Diffuser has not been set down just yet. Astro gets dropped to the floor. Cameraman last alive. He can go for the res. Then he'll go for the quick plant on the side here of the bedroom, like his bedroom.
Astro picked up Camera, and Camera picked up Astro, and now we're in a post plant. As FaZe Clan, all they need to do is use the mirror window, the own defender's utility, to hold this out. It's a perfect spot to win the match, even in a 2 versus 3. And the first kill for Cameraman. PZD goes down, but he's refragged by Psycho, and thus Astro onto Psycho, back and forth. Julio now, 1 versus 1. Very little time here. He's got to push up those white stairs. Astro, this positioning is beautiful. He knows exactly how he needs to play this. He's abandoned the mirror window. Oh, what a shot! That's all that's necessary. Astro pushes FaZe onto a 2-0 win in this series. Black Dragons go home defeated.
Defeated 6-4. They were able to take it to overtime on the second map, which is obviously BD's selection. We don't get to see a third one, unfortunately, so there will be no Chalet. And FaZe, though, this is an impressive FaZe. If you thought they were difficult to deal with at 6 Invitational, congratulations. FaZe Clan at LAN. And really, I'm bummed out that we won't see a Black Dragons at finals, because it's been a while.